how do you market to medical professionals? I'm the one that brought us down the rabbit hole of the exams and then all that kind of stuff. But anyways, it's a long-term game. If you remember, I said you have to play the long game. So we talked about you need to vet the people that you want to refer to, but then you want to target personal trainers and chiropractors. Now, how do you do this? Honestly, you need to have sort of a spreadsheet so you know who's in your area. You want to know who's closer and who's farther away because a personal trainer that's 15 miles away may not, well, it depends on the area, I suppose, but they may not refer to you. So 15 miles away, out in the middle of the sticks is no big deal. In Chicago, that's a 3-hour drive, and they're never going to come over there. So you want to know who's in your local area first, and you can think of it as like having, 2 or 3 rings that you could go after. You want to target the ring that's really close to you first. And if you have that, you have the information. The one thing that you could just simply do is you can just kind of walk in. I wouldn't even try to talk to the doc because if I'm just busy the whole shift, I don't have time to do this. You might just drop off information, just say, hey, I'm looking for a medical provider, that I can refer to sort of help with my clients. Well, that instantly is impressive because a lot of personal trainers and strength coaches sort of push the gray zone a little bit and get into the treatment side of it. Now, I don't personally care, but a lot of medical providers find that incredibly annoying where, you walk in and the trainer's doing like some aggressive soft tissue stuff or, whatever. But if you just said, hey, we're looking for someone to refer to, because you have to realize they really only care about, like, well, how are you going to be able to help them initially? Later on, they might just like you and they want to refer to you because they like the quality of what you do. But initially, you have to, how are you going to help them? So if you say, hey, if he's available, I'd love to talk to him, but I get it, they're busy, just hand them, and it could be a 1-page sheet that's your bio and your approach, and that's it. And you can use that with not only medical professionals, but also you could have them out front, and then, you can have clients that just take it to their friends. So it's a multi-purpose thing. You just hand that to them and say, like, yeah, I'm just looking, I'd love to just have a chance to sit down, if they're able to do that. And then you have to document in your little spreadsheet so that because you're going to have to follow up because the vast majority of them are going to forget about it or they won't actually sort of call you back. You should kind of want this is where it takes time. But over time, by doing that, maybe following up with an email, you can even reach out to them if they're on social media. Like for whatever reason, that's actually an easier way to get a hold of people. But you want to just like slowly be doing that. And then eventually they might say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just talk to this guy. He wants to refer me patients or refer me people. So so go ahead. And then when you meet with them, the thing that you just want to be confident in what you do. Okay, and this is the thing that we were talking about. A lot of you guys probably don't know anatomy and mechanics like a good therapist would. So don't try to impress them with medical terminology and medical knowledge. That's not your thing anyways. Your thing is movement. Your thing is performance training. And so it's always, I guess it's cute in some way. I can sort of see it, but I'll talk to a trainer and they'll like pronounce a muscle wrong. Like gastroc. They were saying it's gastrocnemius. It's one of your calf muscles. But this trainer kept saying the name wrong, and I was like, okay, I don't need you to know, every muscle in the body. I need you to be good at your job. So if you go in there and just, stay in your zone, stay in your lane, and just be like, look, I'm really good at training.
Yeah.
And you can just talk about the training aspect, and you can talk about all the stuff that we referenced in the beginning of the webinar here, where you're going to then take the people that are finishing with the rehab process, right? Maybe insurance just stopped covering, and so the patient's just going to kind of go out. Maybe they just keep getting hurt because they're at some gym and they keep getting dinged up. And then you can talk about, like, well, hey, I actually do movement correction stuff. I actually do a thorough exam. I actually want to get this person moving and functioning better, not just, having 6-pack abs and, vomiting on the track when we're doing a workout, right? You are actually trying to improve their overall function. And if you can just convey that to them, they'll be like, oh, that's pretty cool. And some of them might be, quick turners and instantly start referring you patients. Some of them might take 2 or 3 encounters like that might take months, it might take years. I mean...
Well, I think what's for me, because I'm the type of person Where in order for me to refer someone to someone else, I need to know what that service is going to be like. So, for a long time, you should be like for me, I've been around the block. I've been with a lot of people in physical therapy, from injuries, as being an athlete, a lifetime of these experiences. You start to understand who's good and who's maybe not up your alley.
Right.
And having that experience for you as the practitioner is a really important and valuable component, because now if you decide that you're going to refer someone to them, you can speak from a place of having experienced something. So now you can explain to them with confidence what to expect when they sit down and meet with this person. What is it going to be like when they show up at the lobby for the first time? What is it going to be like when you go into your first appointment? What should they be expecting from, experience? And I think that's really important, because a lot of people don't like changing their routine. When we start talking about creatures of habit, clients are that way. And if they're coming to you because they like you and you're helping them get results, they're going to be open and receptive to your referral to someone else. But the chances of them actually taking advantage of that, they drop pretty significantly, unless you're able to basically walk them through what that process and pattern is going to be like prior to their arrival. And that's going to really build some value there, so that patient goes, oh, well, you've been there, you understand, you wouldn't send me to something that you don't like. That's fantastic. And I think it's valuable, because we're lucky enough that we have a facility. We would invite people over to see our facility, because we want you to know where you're sending those patients, where you're sending those clients. What does it look like? Who are the coaches that are in that space? Because that becomes vitally important for the service provider, the clinician, to have that knowledge as well. And I think that it's not imperative that they come, right? It's not life or death. But when the relationship gets to that point where they're confident enough to come and see what you do or experience what you do, you've gotten in, at least on their radar and in their mind, because now they want to understand it, because they're gearing up to be able to send someone to you. So I think that's a good thing to consider.
I mean, one thing that you can do if you have your own space is you literally could have like an open house for medical providers. Now this requires, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. You probably would need a bunch of trainers that sort of are there, but Pete could do it. And you just have like a night for medical providers where you get them to all come in, and then you talk about your entire system and you sort of educate them on that. I wouldn't predict that that's going to have 30 people show up at it, but you could drop, now you could just literally, it gives you another reason to walk in the door and to meet some of these providers. You could drop off a little bit of a flyer that you can just kind of hand to them, meet the front desk, maybe chat with the PT or the chiro, and then you'll get some of them just kind of pop in, over a couple hours, and then they get to sort of be there and see you do your spiel, talk about your exam, talk about your guys' training approach, talk about, whatever your specialty is.
What makes you different? What is going to make it safe for them to send someone to you, so that person doesn't come back more broken than they sent them out the door?